Alright, I'll be honest. It's good, but clearly not enough. Hey there people, how you doing? This is the S20 Plus review. And I just want to start off by saying that this is a really good phone and it's more or less got everything you need, but definitely not all that you want from a flagship that costs $1,200. Yeah, it's expensive. Let's just address the design first, and I think it's a good looking phone. Definitely no weird monstrosity like the S20 Ultra, that thing is ugly. Ugh. But yeah, this one has a much sleeker, smaller camera module that is alright. I don't think it's the best looking. It's tolerable to say the least. And I think that the S10 from last year had the best looking camera module, and compared to that, this thing is kinda ugly. But I definitely like the toned down aura glow finish with a hint of blue, and the lighter color also helps hide a lot of the fingerprint and smudges while maintaining that iconic prism scattering effect. Wow, I just came up with that. But I think I speak for almost every person alive right now that we would have loved a matte frosted finish on the S20. That would have been something. You know, the best case scenario would be that we get the same camera module from the S10 with a matte frosted finish. Oh, that would be a beautiful phone, huh? Then for the front, I have no serious complaints. I just want to talk about the whole bunch. It still feels like we're just halfway there to what would be the ideal screen with, embedded cameras, zero bezel, that kind of thing. When the day comes when full screen displays are a thing, I'm sure we'll look at these devices and flagships and think, how the hell were we satisfied with that? Then of course, one really good thing about the S20 is that the curves are much less substantial now. They're much smaller, and I do think that they strike a perfect balance between both looks and negating any problems with palm rejection issues, because that thumb meat now rarely ever gets in the way. And one last thing, I do love how the aluminum rails on this thing are slightly thinner. They give this ever so slightly more sleek look that I kinda prefer. Okay, then for the display, I think it's good. It's really good, but yet again, it's not the best. Now, I don't have it yet because, quarantine and whatnot, but the OnePlus 8 Pro has a higher resolution when maintaining 120Hz. Its QHD Plus was FHD Plus on the Galaxy. And there's also 10-bit color on the OnePlus. And in a nutshell, it's going to make a world of difference when viewing HDR content. The artifacting is almost negated completely when you have 10-bit color. Now, of course, I haven't tried out the OnePlus yet, so I don't know how the display looks exactly. But looking at the specs alone, the OnePlus has the S20 beat. And it kind of seems like we're getting more for $300 less? What? That is... God, I'm speechless. Now, of course, I'm not saying that the display is bad by any means. It's amazing. That 120Hz is just butter. Indeed, 120Hz is mesmerizing. But I would ask you to be cautious because at times, stuff might happen you might not even notice. The smoothness can be a distraction. So to reiterate, the 120Hz indeed is mesmerizing. But as gorgeous and as beautiful as the display is, it's still kinda lackluster. Then for performance, we have two versions. We have the Snapdragon 865 version in the US, and if you have that, you're set. You don't have to worry. You have the best S20 in your hands. But others, including me, have the Exynos 990 version. And as far as I know, the Exynos is inferior in quite a few ways as compared to the Snapdragon. And the major problems for the Exynos 990 is not just performance, it's also the efficiency. It's pretty bad. The GPU is also not as good because the Adreno 650 is miles better than the Mali GPU we have here. But I don't game at all on my phone, so it's not too much of a problem for me. But if you do game, then definitely you must consider this. Then for the battery, I've been getting about 5 to 5.5 hours of solid usage screen on time, and these are in 12 to 14 hour cycles. But once again, I think it's the chipset's fault that I'm not getting that higher efficiency and the 6 hours plus screen on time. But if we take a step back, you'll see that in daily, day-to-day usage, it really doesn't matter too much. It's good, but not the best kind of battery life and performance that you'll be expecting from a 2020 flagship. Okay, now for the weirdest part of the phone, the cameras. Now let me just put it out there. The S20 has good cameras, but there's this weird flaw in the HDR processing for images that makes what would have been good images look bad. Okay, let me get this straight. We have a problem in the camera now? Okay, nice. Great. Beautiful. Friggin' awesome. And then there are times when the S10 actually beat out the S20 in terms of HDR performance. And let me tell you people, that is not supposed to happen. Previous year flagships should not beat out the current ones. Now, I don't know if it's a software issue or the Exynos 990 wreaking havoc or something with the camera hardware, but it's definitely not the kind of performance you'd expect from the cameras of such a high-end flagship. Then of course, we can't just let a few images dictate how the camera performance is, because this thing produces some beastly video. Portrait mode's improved as well, along with a banger night mode. Now it's kind of funny if you think about it, because last year the S10 had really good HDR performance, but it kind of lagged behind in the night mode, and now in 2020 the S20 has, I would want to say, really good night mode, but then it kind of falls apart in the HDR department. Like look, I'll be honest, I think that the cameras are good except for that little glitch in the HDR department, but if Samsung can fix this, then this would quite easily be one of the best cameras that we have out there. And then for the software, we have got One UI on top of Android 10 and it works flawlessly. It is really fast, light, and the animations are just absolute butter. And other than those large cartoonish icons that we have, I got no other complaints. So overall, I think that the S20 is a really good phone, but of course there are problems here. Even though there are a lot of things to like. Now you must be cautious before you go for this phone, because firstly, you must understand that if you're a gamer, you're gonna face quite a bit of problem with the CPU. If you get the Snapdragon version, then problem solved, but the Exynos version has a weaker GPU and the efficiency is pretty bad. The second thing to consider is the cameras. Is that HDR processing really going to affect you so much? It affects me, I'll be honest. It does. And it's one of the things I really don't like about the cameras, but other than that, the cameras have held up really well. And lastly, now this might just be a very small complaint, but it's a complaint nonetheless. Does the 1080p mode with 120Hz really bother you? Do you need QHD+? If you are eagle-eyed enough to spot the difference, then the S20 is gonna have some problems here. But even for me, I did mind the fact that I'm not getting QHD+, but other than that, visually it felt absolutely perfect to me. Now yes, to be clear, I am recommending the phone, but you must consider the aforementioned 3 issues before you buy it, because let's face it, initially when I bought this phone I was super excited about the 120Hz, amazing display and all that, but now with the OnePlus 8 Pro right there, coming in at a lower price, along with a display that could beat out the S20, well, I'm having second thoughts now. And with that said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, stay home, stay safe. I will be seeing you guys later. Cheers.